Good morning, everyone. Today we will learn the basics of electricity. This electricity topic from second semester of diploma for the common to all the branches. Right? So this electricity word comes from the Greek word electron, which means amber. Because classically produced by the rubbing amber. Here, the rubbing two objects can transfer the charges from one to another. When the two plastic rods were rubbed each other with a piece of fur, they repelled. From this, we conclude since they were prepared the same way, they should have the same kind of charge. Like charges repel. And on the other hand, the plastic rods were attracted to the fur. There must be a different kind of charge such that unlike charges attract. We discussed the like poles in magnetism. The like poles repels and unlike poles attracts. Here also same, the like charges, positive charge and negative charge, both the charges are in the electricity. If the two charges are same, they repel. If the charges are different, they attract. So this we call these two kinds of electrical charges as positive charge and negative charge. Here various effects of electricity can be defined and explained by the phenomenon of resulting from the presence and flow of electron charge. The electrical charge, both the charges, positive charge and negative charge. Right here, what is actually current? The flow of electrons through a conducting wire per unit time per cross-sectional area. The charge is measured in coulombs. So current can be defined as coulomb per time. So charge per time, so coulomb per second. Here in this chapter we will discuss about the Ohm's law, specific resistance, conductance and effective resistances. In this chapter we will discuss about Ohm's law, specific resistance or resistivity or resistance. The effective resistance when the resistors are connected in a series and also connected in a parallel. So here Ohm's law. What is Ohm's law? Consider a current conducting wire, current conducting wire. See this picture. This law, Ohm's law, is named after the George Simon Ohm. Here this is the basic electrical circuit which shows that the current conducting wire, two ends of this wire is attached to the battery or voltage differences. For example, see here, this is a correct conducting wire. Here at this end A and this endpoint B. At these 2 points, potential difference is given V. Potential difference is applied potential difference V. Then current passes through this current wire is I. So the current passing in this conducting wire is directly proportional to the voltage. So Ohm's law states that voltage across a resistance is directly proportional to the current flowing through the resistance. This Ohm's law is named after German physicist Georg Simon Ohms. Ohm's law is used to show the relationship between current, voltage and resistance. Right? So the Ohm's law states that voltage or potential difference between the 2 points is directly proportional to the current or electricity passing through the resistance and directly proportional to the resistance of the circuit. So here you can write this. Here you can write this V is directly proportional to I, or I is directly proportional to V. Therefore V equals to IR. This is the Ohm's law. V equals to IR is the Ohm's law. V equals to IR is a Ohm's law. Here V equals to IR. The Ohm's law states the current. This circuit diagram shows the Ohm's law. The current is passing through the conductor is directly proportional to voltage difference across the conductor. Here V is the voltage, I is the current and R is the resistance. So the circuit diagram verifies Ohm's law is this one. So voltage across the resistance is connected in parallel. So here this is a V, this is the resistance R. So V equals to V is directly proportional to I. So V equals to IR. V equals to IR. V equals to IR. Where the I is current, where I is the current and so you can see this from this V equals to directly proportional to I. So V equals to IR is the Ohm's law. This V equals to IR is the Ohm's law. So you can remember this Ohm's law by the following triangle. So V always written in the top. We always written the top. Here you want the potential across the wire. So end A and end B. Here current is passing through this conducting wire. So you want this potential in between the A and B, then V by IR. So from V equals to IR, you can find out voltage. If you want the current, how much current is passing through the conducting wire, then I equals to V by R. From this triangle, I equals to V by R. Now you need the resistance. How much resistance offered by this conducting wire or the resistors is equal R equals to V by I. So this is the triangle By using this triangle, we can remember the Ohm's law and different very potential, current or resistance you can find out and by using this law. This Ohm's law is defined as electrical resistance between 2 points. When constant potential difference of 1 volt applied to these points, and produces the current 1 ampere. The conductor not being seat of any electromotive force. So here the Ohm's law is a fundamental basic law in electricity. This is a fundamental basic law in electricity to find out resistances, electricity and current and voltage difference across the points, right? So some of the metric conductors obeys this Ohm's law, some of the conductors does not obey this Ohm's law. If any conductor obeys the Ohm's law, then that conductor is called as a ohmic conductors. The conductors which obeys Ohm's law have a constant resistance when the voltage is varied with the current through them is increased. Observe the graph here. As the current increases, current is increasing, right? Current is increasing on x-axis and potential voltage, current in amperes and voltage in the volts also increases. So here directly proportional and it is increasing directly. So the graph between the current and voltage is straight line. That conductors obeys the Ohm's law, right? These type of conductors are called as ohmic conductors. The graph of the current versus voltage across the conductor will be a straight line. Ohmic conductor is anything that conduct electricity directly proportional to the applied voltage. Ohmic conductor is anything which conducts the electricity directly proportional to the voltage applied. If voltage is increasing, the proportionally current also increases. That type of conductors are called as ohmic conductors. Examples for the ohmic conductors are copper wire, metals like platinum, iron, aluminum, copper, a uniformly doped silicon, resistors. These are the examples for the ohmic conductors. And the conductor which does not obey Ohm's law, and when you apply some voltage difference to a conductor, its current does not changes proportionally. That type of conductors are called as non-ohmic conductors. The conductors which does not obey Ohm's law are called as non-ohmic conductors. If a device behaves in that way, is not described by the Ohm's law. That is, resistance is not constant but changes. Resistance changes but not constant in a way that depends on the voltage across it. The resistance is not constant but it changes in the way that depends on the voltage across. If voltage changes, resistance also changes, but resistance not remains constant. This device is said to be non-ohmic cell. In this case, non-ohmic conductors, in the non-ohmic conductors, the graph between the voltage versus current is not a straight line. It has some curvy shapes. That depends upon the conducting device. For example, bulb, gas discharge tube, thermistor, it is different for different devices. So examples for this non-ohmic conductors are tungsten filament, which is used in a bulb, vacuum tubes, semiconductors like diodes, transistors, resistors, and thermistors, thermionic devices. These are the non-ohmic conductors. See here the graph of a tungsten filament, semiconductor, gas chamber or vacuum tube. This is for thermistor. This is for the thermionic diode. This is for semiconductors. This is for the uniform ohmic conductors. Right? So the conductors which obeys Ohm's law are called as ohmic conductors, and this graph versus graph between voltage versus current is a straight line. Examples for the ohmic conductors are metals like gold, platinum, iron, aluminum, and some resistors. And non-ohmic conductors which does not obey Ohm's law, and their graph between voltage versus current is not a straight line, but it has some curvy shapes. These are called as a non-ohmic conductors. Examples for the non-ohmic conductors are tungsten filament, or you can say that bulb filament, vacuum tube, semiconductors, diodes, transistors, rectifier, thermistors. These are all comes under the non-ohmic conductors. Here the temperature dependence of resistance. The resistance of any conductor depends on the temperature. If temperature changes, the resistance of a conductor also changes. The causes for the resistance in a material is interaction between the electrons. Interaction between electrons. The electric flow moves through a conductor. Such metals, the moving electrons can collide with each other. Here, the temperature main causes. One is interaction between electrons, and second one is the interaction between electron, interaction between electron, and interaction between electrons or atoms or lattice. These are the two reasons for the variation in the temperature of this resistance. The resistance is affected by the temperature of the material, because interaction between the electron and electron lattice are temperature dependent. Therefore, the resistance of the material varies with the variation in the temperature. So electron and electron interaction and electron lattice interaction. Lattice means the arrangement of atoms. Depends on the temperature. So the factor by which the resistance of material changes when charge changing its temperature is called as the temperature coefficient resistance. The factor by which the resistance of material changes. Here the fractional change in the resistance. See that. So R is a resistance, R0 at initial point. This is the fractional change. The fractional change in the resistance is delta R equals to R minus R0. This is directly proportional to the temperature change. So temperature change initially T and T0 is the temperature. So temperature change equals to T minus T0. This delta R and directly proportional to delta T, this is a fraction of delta R. Resistance is directly proportional to delta T. So you can write this R minus R0 by R0 is directly proportional to T minus T0. So from this you can say that R equals to R0 1 plus alpha T T0, or you can say that R equals to R0 into 1 plus alpha delta T. This equation for the resistance and temperature dependence. This is the equation of the temperature dependent, where R is the resistance at temperature T. This R is the resistance. This R is a resistance at temperature T. R0 is the resistance. This is at temperature T, and R0 at the temperature T0. And alpha is the temperature coefficient. This alpha is called as a temperature coefficient of resistance for that particular material. T is the material temperature. T0 is the reference temperature. This temperature coefficient is two types. One is positive temperature coefficient. Another one is a negative temperature coefficient. One is positive, another one is a negative. So for metals are conductors. The resistance of metals increases. Take this temperature on x-axis, resistance on y-axis. Then for conductors or metals, as temperature increases, resistance also increases. Therefore, conductors have a positive temperature coefficient. The value of alpha is positive. Value of alpha is positive for the metals and conductors. For example, silver, copper, gold, iron. These are the positive temperature coefficient of resistors. When you for the semiconductors and resistance of semiconductors, here when temperature increases, resistance decreases. Here temperature increases, resistance also increases. So when the temperature increases, resistance decreases, that type of coefficient is called as a negative temperature coefficient. For example, for the semiconductors, the resistance of the semiconductor decreases with increase in the temperature. Therefore, semiconductors have negative temperature coefficient, minus alpha. So example for this is silicon, germanium, diode, carbon, transistor. All these comes under the negative coefficient alpha. For insulators also, the conductivity of metal is increased slightly when temperature increases. This is for semiconductor. This is for conductors. For insulator, the conductivity of material, so resistance slightly decreases, temperature increases. When the conductivity of material increased, we know that resistivity decreases. Some insulators at room temperature, insulators at room temperature changes to conductor at high temperatures. For example, insulator have negative alpha value. The value of temperature coefficient of resistivity negative and very small. This type of materials, if the value is very small, then at high temperature it behaves like a conductor. So for example, glass, rubber, ceramics, diamond, boron, etc. These are the examples for that. Now the resistance. So what is the resistance? The resistance is a property of a conductor. Resistance is a property of conductor which opposes the flow of electron or flow of current is called as a resistance. The resistance is a ratio between the potential difference and current. So this resistance is denoted by capital R. So resistance equals to potential difference by current. Therefore R equals to V by I. So units for the potential this resistance are in ohms. Unit is ohm. So the resistance ohm can be defined as the resistance R in ohm is equals to voltage V in volts and divided by the current I in the ampere. So R equals to V by I. So V by I equals to V, resistance equals to voltage by current. So the unit for the resistance is ohm. Ohm can be defined. The resistance of a conductor is said to be 1 ohm if 1 ampere current flows through the conductor when the potential difference of 1 volt is applied across the potential difference across the ends of the conductor, then it is called as a 1 ohm. So you can say that 1 ohm can be defined 1 ohm equals to 1 volt by 1 ampere. For example, this is a conducting wire. A and B are the two ends. The potential difference is V between these two ends. Current passing this in this wire is I. 1 ampere current is passing when the 1 volt is applied, then the resistance offered by this is called as a wire is called as a 1 ohm. So you see the picture here. This is the symbol of ohm. This is the real resistance. The black and orange colors gives the resistance value, and this third one is a variable resistance. You put an arrow mark on this. Put an arrow mark on the resistance symbol. It becomes a variable. So resistance changes from conductor to conductor. But how the material's resistance changes? Right? It is resistivity. The resistance of a conducting wire. For example, a wire is resistance is R, it is conducting current I, the potential difference is applied at the ends of the wire. Right? Now see, this R is directly proportional to L. If length increases, resistance also increases. For example, this is the length of the wire, this is the length of the wire, so the electron flow is decreases. If you increase, still flow decreases, so resistance offered is increases. When therefore R is directly proportional to length. If you increase the cross-sectional area, for example, this is a wire, the electrons are moving in this wire. If you make this same wire with this size, then electron moves very freely. So if area increases, resistance decreases. Here in this case you are increasing length, so length increases, electron resistance increases. So R is directly proportional to 1 by A. Therefore from this you can say that R is directly proportional to L by A. So here you say that from this R equals to some constant L by A. So where rho is a resistivity, or it is to be specific resistance. So rho equals to R A by L. This is a specific resistance of a conductor. The specific resistance is also called as a resistivity. The resistivity is defined as the resistance offered by a unit length and unit cross-sectional area of a substance to a current when voltage is applied. The resistivity is defined as the resistance offered by a material of unit length and unit cross-sectional area. The unit for the specific resistance is ohm meter. Unit for the specific resistance is ohm meter. The reciprocal of resistivity is conductance, that equals to resistance, 1 by resistance. The units for this 1 by resistance is ohm inverse or mho, reverse to the resistance. And conductivity is given by 1 by rho, sigma equals to 1 by rho. Here ohm meter inverse is the unit for the conductivity. Resistivity, conductance, resistance. Conductance and resistance are for the material, total conductance, but for specific resistance for different material. Specific conductance or specific resistance different for different materials. For example, a conducting wire is made up of iron, copper, zinc. So the resistance offered by the iron is different, resistance offered by the copper is different, resistance offered by the zinc is different. So these resistances offered by these materials are called as a specific resistance. These three alloys are, the wire is made up of by using these three metals, then it has different resistance. Other than this, the resistance of iron, resistance of zinc, resistance of copper, it has a different resistance. That is called as a resistance. The specific resistivity is a resistivity offered by the material of unit length or unit area. So the rho equals to RA by L. The specific resistance depends on the area and length. Now, to know the resistances of different if you have the different resistances, 2 or 3 resistances, then to find out the effective resistance, how much resistance offered by the 3 or 4 resistances, we are connecting the resistances in 2 types. One is a series combination connection and another one is a parallel connection. For series connection, for example, take R1, R2, R3, 3 resistances. For example, 3 resistances, resistance 1 and resistance 2 and resistance 3. This is R1, R2, R3 are the 3 resistances connected and voltage across the resistances. So here the first terminal of the first resistance is connected to the second terminal of the first resistance connected to the first terminal of the second resistance, and second terminal connected to the first terminal of the third one. So this is the combination of a series. This is a series combination. If here a resistance R1, another resistance and another resistance, here voltage across this is V, R1, R2, R3. Now the potential drop across the R1 is V1, potential drop across the R2 is V2, and across R3 is V3. The potential says respective. But from Ohm's law, V equals to IR. So potential difference across a series connection of resistances is V equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. So V equals to IR. So V equals to IR is equal to I R1. Current passing through this does not change. The current is I R2 plus I R3. This is the V equals to IR. So here I is common. That's why V equals to IR equals to I common R1 plus R2 plus R3. So I cancel. So R equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So on up to RN. This is the effective resistance when the resistances are connected in a series. So the equivalent resistance is a total of the circuit. It is a single value of resistance which maybe replace the number of resistance in circuit without changing the current and voltage. In series connection, the total resistance of circuit is determined by the adding the resistance of each individual resistances. Here the equivalent resistance, the number of resistance series equal to the sum of the individual resistances. The effective resistance is equals to the individual resistance equal value sum of the individual resistances. If number of resistances increases, automatically the resistance increases in a series combination. So another combination is parallel connection. Parallel combination. Here all the first terminals of the resistances are connected together and all the second terminals of the resistances are connected together and potential is given to these terminals. So here this is R1, R2, R3. The potential is V. Then current is passing I. At this point A, these three current is divided into I1, I2, I3. Right? So current is passing through R1, current is passing I1, through R2 current is I2, through R3 current is I3. The potential difference between A and B, point A and point B, is V only. So V equals to IR. From this, I equals to V by R. I equals to V by R, where R is the effective resistance here. This means the total resistance of the combination, you can say that from this I1 equals to V by R1. Potential across whole potential is same for all the wires. I2 equals to V by R2 and I3 equals to V by R3. But I equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3. I equals to I1, I2, I3. So from this you can say this V equals to, instead of I, V by R, instead of I1, V by R1, instead of I2, V by R2 plus V by R3. So V is common, so V by V common, so V gets cancelled both the sides. So 1 by R equals to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3. This is the effective resistance when the resistors are connected in a parallel connection or parallel mode. So effective resistance connected in parallel combination is reciprocal to the effective resistance of the combination is equal to the sum of the reciprocal of individual resistances. The number of resistances connected in parallel. If a number of resistances are connected in parallel, then the reciprocal of the effective resistance is a combination are equal to the sum of the reciprocals of the individual resistances. So if the number of resistors increase, then voltage decreases in this case, because the resistances in parallel connection, the total resistance is determined by the adding a reciprocal of the resistance of each individual resistors. In parallel connection, the resistance, total resistance, or the equivalent resistance always less than the smallest resistor present in the circuit. It is smallest resistor present in the circuit. The value of the equivalent resistance will be between the smallest resistance in the circuit and the smallest resistance divided by the number of resistors present in the circuit. So in the series combination, the equivalent resistance is total resistance of the circuit. It is a single value of resistance which may replace the number of resistors without changing voltage and current in the circuit. In a series connection, the total resistance of circuit is determined by adding a resistance to each individual resistance. But in a parallel combination, the total value is equivalent or will be less, less than the smallest resistor present in the circuit. The value of equivalent resistance will be between the smallest resistance in the circuit or smallest resistance divided by the number of resistors present in the circuit. So in this chapter we discussed about Ohm's law and explanation of Ohm's law, ohmic conductors, non-ohmic conductors, examples for the ohmic conductors, non-ohmic conductors and examples, definition of coefficient of resistance, types of coefficient of resistance. One is positive temperature coefficient, another one is the negative temperature coefficient. Negative temperature and positive temperature coefficient dependence on temperature. How the temperature resistance of a conductor, semiconductor and insulator changes when the temperature increases or decreases, and what is the resistance, what is the specific resistance, how to find out the effective resistance in a and combination of the resistors in the series and parallel combinations. So from this you can find out the effective resistances and voltage and current. By using Ohm's law you can find out the voltage, currents and resistances if you know the any of the two, right? So hope you understand the concept of electricity and resistances, resistors and specific resistance and Ohm's law, which are basics for the understanding of electricity. From this area you will get a sure question from Ohm's law and series and parallel kind of combination of resistances, and specifically explain the specific resistance will be the most important question from this session, and you will get a problem on this specific resistance. In the problem, area, resistance and length will be given and ask for the find out the specific resistance of a given conductor, right? I hope understand the concepts, small topics in our syllabus. Thank you very much.